Taking a little bit of a break, I've reached my point of detangling yarn where it was kind of okay. I'm not going to say that it was fun, but I was tolerating it this morning, and now I've reached my threshold of I'm frustrated. Even though I only have this much left, it's an entire knot. Like this whole thing is just one giant tangle, though I did end up getting quite a bit of it done. In total, there was 200 grams. I'm at about 160 grams right here, which I really should just keep going. But again, I know myself, I am done. I'm not having fun with it. So we're just gonna wait, draw on an audiobook, and start again. Instead, we are gonna have a little chit chat about this yarn and the project that I have ready to go for it. Not entirely sure how far I'm gonna get with it today, but we'll at least start it. Hobbii Halloween Horizon. I love the weight of it. I love the color intensity, and I love the feel too. It's 100% acrylic, yes. Horizon Halloween, a lightweight number 3, suggesting a 5mm crochet hook. This also works really well on a knitting machine, which is what I have planned for it. I want to use all 3 of these cakes of yarn to work up a sweater on my knitting machine. Normally, I need about 600 grams in order to make a sweater, including the ribbing. But since this is a lightweight number 3, traditionally my knitting machine likes a medium number 4 weight yarn, which means there's going to be a little bit of stretch from it. So I might not need every bit of yarn that I have here, which would be great because then this can just get done another day and I don't even have to worry about it for the moment. I'm gonna have to actually move it here in a second because it's staring at me and I'm just, you know what? We're gonna do that right now. Goodbye for now. See you later. I had a wild ride here from the store to the yarn dungeon. Very happy that these 2 came fully intact because if I had to untangle more than one, I don't know that I would be working on it here today. We would probably be chatting about a different yarn. So with Hobbie's yarn, they don't have the name of the color. All they have is the number. So this one is color number 1. I think there's just 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Who knows? The other day when I was looking at the Honey Bunny candy for the Halloween yarn, there was a brand new colorway that they had since I had put my order in. So maybe we'll see another one too. One cake of yarn is $13.10. Originally, it's $22 per cake of yarn. There are still 3 colors, but only 2 of them are available. So we have the classic Halloween, which is color number 1, and color number 3, which is Spooky Spell. I really like the color combination that they went with this year too. I think it just screams Halloween, and I mean, like, you look at this and you're not gonna think, oh, maybe this was the inspiration. No, inspiration was Halloween. The third one was called Witch Love. I'll show you what it looked like as a full cake here. All swirled up, we have some witchy purples, orange and black. You can kind of tell that with the first one that I spun. So I can typically get 100 grams on my electric yarn winder. I did this one a little bit more than I probably should have. So I was running the risk of it like popping off of the yarn winder, but it didn't. We're all good. I just need to remember that I need to start with this big one and then move on to the little one, so that way the colorway will be the same. Otherwise, it's going to start it in the middle, and then on here, they do show you the colors all worked up. So that's what it's going to look like. It has a little bit of stripy action in it. When I first tried this a few years ago, I totally fell in love with it, and since this is limited edition, it is only available for spooky season, and whenever they run out and they take it off of their site. However, there is a Hobbii Horizon. So if you're like me and you love it and you want to keep using it just because you like the consistency of it, the feel, the weight, the drape, there are quite a few other options just in the Horizon lineup. Like that one's a nice little spooky action too. We got a lot of witchy purple there. The one that I normally use is Eclipse, and that one, of course, is sold out right now. It makes sense. We probably had a lot of people combining the 2. Personally, I think this is fantastic for wearables. So if you're looking to make a Halloween sweater, cardigan, scarf, anything like that, definitely check this one out. So many pattern suggestions. There's 111 on their site right now. Not every single one of them are spooky, but you can go through this. They have 2 different versions on their site when it comes to patterns. So there's a Hobbii Plus, and then there's Hobbii just free patterns. It will tell you, okay, so like this one that I just clicked on, the Horizon cardigan, I really love this. And then also, okay, so these right here, that's what I'm seeing for this pattern. Scroll all the way down and it'll tell you if it's a free pattern or a paid pattern. And this one happens to be free. Scroll even further, you'll see all the equipment that you need too. So the size of the hook, we need some stitch markers, some buttons. Just go ahead and click add to the cart anything that you need. 601 yards in total for this little cake. Machine wash and tumble dry low. I haven't tried it with this one in particular, the Horizon line in general. I've thrown it in the wash and the dryer many, many times. So as long as the formula is the same and the color is the only thing that they've changed, this is something that I will throw in the wash and the dryer, especially the fact that I want to make it a sweater. Like, this is going to be an everyday wear for me. I just love how Hobbii really goes for it with Halloween. I mean, they have an entire Horizon line already. They could just go ahead and change the name back here, keep the label, but no, they go all out. We have little candy corns, a spooky little ghost with the pail of, is there candy in it? Some sort of slimy something in there, bats all over, and then right here, scan that and it'll go exactly to this line, which isn't always the case with yarn. Halloween Horizon, that's the page it sends you to. That way I don't have to spend extra time looking around for the yarn. Like if I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, all I had to do is scan this, scroll down, see all the pattern suggestions, and then pick what I want from there. If I remember correctly, these don't have a center pull or like a little tag that says pull here. You just have to decide if you want to pull it from the middle or not. So this one looks like I could potentially pull it from the middle. I don't want it to be a huge mess, so if I can feel it easily, I'm going to pull from the middle. Otherwise, the outside is just as easy, because like right there you can see there's the starting point. Since I am working this up on my knitting machine, I could just grab a yarn bowl, put that right in the middle, and then good to go. Don't really have to worry about it getting all tangled up or anything. So that's one option. Let's see if I can actually get it from the middle. Not very easy to find over there. Okay, there's a tiny bit. So if I'm gonna do it on my knitting machine, I'm gonna pull on the outside. If I'm crocheting, probably pull from the inside. It doesn't feel like it's super tightly wound. Like that's very easy to pull out. For tension and everything, obviously that does play a factor. I don't really feel like either way was too difficult. 4mm crochet hook. There are so many stitches that this would look absolutely stunning with, but I am going to do a C2C. Granny squares would look amazing with this too. The colors do take a little bit to change. You can see I've pulled out a little bit of yarn and we haven't even gotten close to a color change at the moment. Bigger granny squares might be a good thing to do. This is a great yarn to travel with too, since it's all nice and compact. We have 200 grams here. I can throw this in a tote bag, grab my crochet hook, and work on a sweater as I'm going out to places like pumpkin patches. In a few weeks, I will actually be headed there to get my very first pumpkin of the season. That's just wild to me. Do we feel like the spooky season is here officially? Like, I mean, it's spooky season in the Yarn Dungeon 24/7, but I feel as though the world has caught up. Just yesterday, I saw some Halloween candy on shelves. Even with the C2C stitch, which is a nice one to use for blankets just because it's so plush, it's still showing a lot of movement. Sensory wise, it feels very nice on my fingers. There isn't any sort of fiber in here that's irritating to me. Just overall, a very enjoyable yarn to work with, which means I could keep crocheting this up all day long. But what I really wanted to do was put it on my knitting machine. So I should stop here before I inevitably start another project that I didn't have any plans for. Typically, when I'm making a sweater on my knitting machine, I like to have 70 rows for the front and back panels, though I don't really know where this is going to put me since it is a little bit of a thinner yarn. Probably going to start with 60 and see where we land after that. To get started, throw on 3 rows of the waste yarn. Oh, and I do need to lock it from circle to panel. There we go. That working yarn, and now I can switch over to my actual color. For these first couple of rows, I go pretty slow just to make sure every stitch is picking up. But as you can see, My knitting machine really loves this yarn. And it's not always that way. It's kind of particular in the weight of yarn that it likes. A medium number 4 is its all-time favorite, so sometimes this is a hit or a miss. But luckily today, it seems to be working perfectly. All right, we're at row number 6. I'm just gonna keep on going to row 70, and we can just watch the color unfold. Worked up one panel for all 3 colorways that I have, and from that entirety, 70 rows with each panel. I only had 1 compressed stitch, no drop stitches or anything, so it's safe to say that my knitting machine loves this yarn, and that's the route that I'm going to continue to work this up. Obviously, I'm going to finish this sweater, so I need 1 more panel of 70, and then for the sleeves, I think I'm going to switch to my smaller knitting machine and just do 2 tubes. That way it's nice and simple. I will crochet the ribbing, seam everything together, which will be a task for an entire day in and of itself. I only got to listen to about 20 minutes of my audiobook, so yeah, these work up really quickly. Love being able to see the entire colorway spun up. It's one thing to see it online, it's another thing to see how it actually works up in person. Something that I did notice is there were a couple of spots that the color didn't totally pick up on that row, so there's like little bits of white. I'm not sure if that's intentional, but for me, I don't really mind because this is going to be a super distressed sweater anyways. Lots and lots of colors going every single direction, but just something to keep in mind if you are looking to pick up any of these cakes of Halloween yarn. And I only had 3, so who knows if this is something consistent throughout the line, but I did notice it just 2 out of the 3 had little spots of white every once in a while. It'd be fun as throw pillows, headbands, beanies. There really isn't anything that I wouldn't use this yarn for, honestly. Just a big fan all around of the Hobbii Horizon Halloween. Let me know, out of the 3 colors that we saw today, what was your favorite and which one would you like to see as a sweater? Like just one color. If you had to pick, which one would that be? I'm gonna keep working on this as well as our 100 Night to Halloween Countdown C2C blanket, and throw in our movie pick for tonight too. Have a super spooky rest of your day, and I will see you ghouls tomorrow.